Yeah. Hi, and welcome to Happy Hour with Cooper. Sorry we're a little bit behind. You know, apparently I can't start anything without forgetting something, so. Hi everyone, I already see there's chats. Welcome back, Rhonda. We missed you. Hi, Kim, and hi, Mother. Hi, Mother. So this week, I'm gonna do things a little bit differently. As you can see, I'm already kind of set up to cook. I'm gonna pour myself a little bit of Chardonnay Reserve, and we'll talk more about that in a second here. But I do want to start cooking right now so that I can put it in the oven and then show you the finished product. This is a riff on an old family, I guess an old mother recipe that she did really quickly for spinach dip, and I've kind of zhuzhed it up so that we can do, you can actually bake it and put it in a bread bowl. So I'm going to show that. I don't have a bread bowl, but I had a sourdough loaf, which works instead of a bread bowl. So you'll see I've pre-portioned about a cup of sour cream, a cup of mayonnaise, or Miracle Whip. I prefer mayo though. I think it's less sweet. This looks like it's the same amount, but it's probably closer to half a cup of cream cheese. And then for topping and maybe a little bit more cheesiness on top, I have Parm and cheddar mixed together. And then I have a 300-gram frozen pack of spinach. For this recipe, you need frozen spinach because it's already been blanched. Right now, I'm doing 1 pack, but for these proportions, you could do 2 if you want it to be more spinachy. Hi, Jeff. Anybody who comes on, please let me know where you're from, what you're drinking, like Kim has in Facebook. Again, we're doing Facebook and YouTube, so I will be bouncing back and forth between those 2 chats. And yeah. So, key ingredients for this. Today we're using cream of vegetable Knorr soup mix. Usually it's normal, it's just vegetable soup mix. The cream does add a little bit more powder to it and thickens it up, but that works because we're baking it. If I was just doing a cold dip, I would want the vegetable soup mix, but this will actually help bring everything together. And because of that, I'm not gonna drain the spinach like I normally would, because it's gonna use the spinach liquid to thicken up. So this is really simple. It's combine, stir, and then fill your bread bowl and bake. So I'm gonna quickly dump the spinach into the bowl. Nice big plop. Because everything's going to combine, I don't mind using a spoon that's been touching something else. So we're going to put the spinach down into the bowl. Get in there. I like it to be still a little bit freezy, just because it's almost easier to mix in when it's not super sopping. So we have our spinach. I'm going to pour the soup mix powder in right now. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is a bit like powdery and milky, and that's great if you're gonna bake it off, because it has cornstarch and flour in it, so it will actually provide your binder without you having to use like egg or something. And I don't really like using eggs in my baked dip. I like using cheese and flour to get them. I'm gonna mix this as good as I can, get the powder kind of mixed there into the spinach juices. What I love about this recipe is you almost don't even need to season it. Like the salt and the pepper and all that stuff comes in the soup mix. You know, you can always add more, but so that's mostly mixed. We'll mix it more. So we've got almost about a cup of sour cream. Again, generally with a cup of sour cream and a cup of mayo and a cup of cream cheese, I might increase the spinach amount, but I kind of want this to be cheesier and not spinachy. What you also can do at this stage is add like half a cup of chopped marinated artichoke hearts, and then you get your spinach and artichoke dip instead of just spinach dip. I love the cream of vegetable soup mix. It's basically like adding vegetable stock to your to your dip, and so there's like concentrated vegetable flavor, and that's what you want in a dip like this. You could use it like a chicken stock for a chicken soup, but then it wouldn't be vegetarian. And I kind of like that this, well, not vegan obviously, since the big hump of cheese just went into it, but I like that it's a little bit, it appeals to more people being with no meat. You know, I have another dip I like to take to parties that's buffalo cream cheese chicken, and it's so good with like pulled chicken and cream cheese and stuff. But again, this works out a little bit better for more people. So this is just, I may have used a smaller bowl than I needed, but I'll make it work. So you just mix it up. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be mixed crazy good, because you're gonna mix it after taking it out of the oven. So now this, if I had used a different soup mix, like just vegetable, this would be served and ready to go if I had mixed it just a little bit better. So you could just do that. But because I put some cheesiness and some cream and some flour and stuff in it, I do want it to bake up. So, and we'll save this shredded cheese to put on top. So I'm gonna grab from off camera my bread bowl. I did cut it so that there's not crumbs going everywhere. And I did already pre-remove the bread center, but so it's pretty simple. You just do a quick line around, and then you kind of grab with your fingers. You need to be able to feel the bottom of the bowl with your fingers, or you're going to rip the bowl out. And you really don't want to do that. Like even this bowl, if you saw, I probably should have looked at the bottom before I did it. There's little like weaknesses, and so it does have some holes in the bottom, and that's just, that happens fairly often, especially if you're not using a bread bowl, you're just using like a loaf. So you just use bits of the bread to kind of seal the bottom. And I like to pat the sides and like crink them in so there's the bread inside is as kind of flattened in. So this is almost a perfect amount. We might even have extra dip because again, like it's a flatter bowl that I got. I didn't get like a big normal round bread bowl. I know you guys, I'm probably blocking it off. I missed my mother piping in that she adds water chestnuts. I will never, because I hate them. I don't dislike a lot of things. Like I like most food, but if there's one vegetable thing that I hate, it's water chestnuts. I don't know why. They're tasteless and weird. So I'm using a knife to get some of that cream cheese off. I spilled a little bit, but look at that. Like that's perfect for the bowl, right? And yeah, so you'll notice like, if you did have weakness in your bottom, it may leak a little bit. So that's the next important part, is to put it and wrap it in tin foil so that if it does leak a little bit, tin foil is gonna grab it. So see tin foil right in the center. I'm gonna pop this on. And I'm gonna wrap it up. Not super tight. Just enough to kind of keep it from leaking. Again, they do leak if it's not a normal bread, like an actual pre-made bread bowl. And that's just because you can't guarantee the bottom is gonna be, the bottom is gonna be really firm. So I got a fair mess here, and I forgot something. I forgot the cheese on. So we're just gonna quickly put the cheese on. I didn't put enough. So there. Now we're good. I'm gonna have to eat this later with Rolf and Jazine, so if they want to eat it. So I want it to actually taste good, not just look good. Before I finish off though, let's remember that we don't like too much waste. So, all these little bread bits, you can chop up and use them, toast them up and use them to dip in your dip later. This is very similar to when I made chips. Yes, Mother, you knew I didn't like water chestnuts. So it's very similar. This is kind of my go-to. Since it's going to be cooking on 350, these should just take the same amount of time as the bread bowl. So we'll do 350 for the next 20 minutes. So I just put a little oil on them. I'm going to toss them in the oil. Little salt. Okay. Oh, that's why. Cool. So I just told James, like our James, like James Cambridge, is on Facebook. Hi, James. I'm having troubles. The Facebook thing is not as it's not I didn't like pop it out like I do the YouTube one. So actually, it's kind of stuck on the first few people that talked on Facebook. So I'll have to, once my hands are a little bit better, I will get that out of here. My helper, if you want to take that to the oven, put it in 350 and we'll check it in about 20 minutes. The bread should just roast up and get nice and crispy, and all that cheese should melt in there, and it should just turn out really nice, hopefully. And so once we're done kind of drinking some wine, maybe we'll chat about it. And I'll bring it out and we'll see, and maybe it'll be super cheesy and delicious. I made a bit of a mess, so Jazine will bring me a paper towel on screen, or Rolf, apparently. I have such a talented production team. They just get me things whenever I need them. Thank you, guys. She's not in the room, but I'll have to thank Jazine again. Okay. Oh, it's so awesome to see James on. I mean, we miss you, James. And what thermos? Okay, James is just messing with me, probably. So, he did that all the time. Yeah, Kim, I do make spinach dip with fresh spinach, but the problem with fresh spinach is you have to blanch it first, and you require so much spinach. Because once you boil and blanch off spinach, it just reduces in size so much. Like it's so much less work just to buy the pre-frozen spinach. Because it's already 300 grams, it's already frozen, it's already in a little brick. 300 grams of spinach that has been cooked down and stuff is like this much spinach. It's like a whole armful of spinach, which you probably have if you have spinach in your garden. But yeah, it just takes a lot more work to turn it into into the spinach you need for a spinach dip, or it'll lose. The big problem with that is it loses too much water into your dip if it's fresh, and it doesn't have the right texture. So I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't think I've had the Reserve Chardonnay from 2016 yet. So, well, wow, huh, that's new. So I'll give you a little bit of background on why I'm tasting Reserve Chardonnay and Reserve Meritage today from 2016. We had a little bit left over, and we're actually kind of not running low, but our 2018s were moving faster than we kind of needed them to. So we're switching the 2016s in just to give the 2018s, and 2017s a little bit more time. And I should say 2017s mostly, because our reds are 2017 reserves. But so we moved the 2016 reserves back in, and just in the tasting room for now, I think. I don't know if we're putting them on the website. But for some of you that, like Kim, have some of these bottles sitting in the back of your your cellar somewhere. And so I just thought, you know what? Since we're bringing them onto the shelf again in the store, let's bring them out. We did have a slightly different show planned today, I'll be honest. And so that was Steve from Save On, is the gentleman that we work with who's from Save On. He will be, I believe he will be showing up for next week. It just didn't, it ended up not working with his schedule today. So, and it gives us more time maybe to talk to him and plan with him anyways. So we'll be exploring some of the wines we have on Save On's shelf and talking about, like, you know, what it looks like to be selling with Save On. And so that's next week. But this week, because we kind of lost him last minute, you know, we're not going to have somebody to interview today. And yeah, Kim, go with the frozen, but maybe next time you come visit, bring me some spinach, some fresh spinach. And yeah, I'm just so super excited to see all of you. Oh, and now I want a Moscow Mule. And an SD dinner. What is SD? Jeff, you want to tell me what SD means? Social distancing dinner. Good morning, Brett. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about this beautiful wine that's in front of me. Wow. I've been a big fan of her wines. I've had the 2015 and the 2013 Reserve Chardonnays, and they're delicious. I haven't tried the 16 yet, and that's just a shame. So if some of you have had this before, you'll know that I think this is probably an oakier Chardonnay, that's for sure. And wow, like right off the, I get like the traditional kind of like citrus, but it's got almost like a stone fruit meloniness to it with that butter and oak. And yeah. Yes, Kim, I will make you spinach dip by the pound if you want it. It's easy and fun, and I love it. So that is decadent. You guys are watching my first expression of it. This isn't me trying to talk up our product. Wow, that's decadent. It's got it's just got a weight to it on your tongue. Still a little bit of bright citrusy acidity on I guess the back palate and on the side, and I guess in your cheeks. But wow, there's like almost a peachy, maybe even nectarininess to it. You do get that oakiness, but it's not overpowering the fruit. That is doing really, 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 really well. Has anybody on the chat had this? The White Gold 2016. I think Kim, you said you have had it. This is flipping tacular. Apparently I'm frozen, according to Rhonda. I don't know, Rhonda. We'll look into it, make sure I'm not frozen. Can you hear me at least? And thanks for chipping in, Jeff. Yeah, I'm glad you loved it, though I can't say I'm surprised. This is freaking spectacular. Okay. Whoa. I'm just gonna process that for a second, guys. I am super excited that I still have not found a single wine of ours that I don't like. It's rare. I had never really experienced that with any winery before. There's always one that just is kind of boring or not indicative of the style, but we're doing good. James, you're having the rosé. I think that's a good choice. It's one of my favorite rosés, and you did a good job on it. Wow, this is good. Okay, so that's our Chardonnay. We'll switch to the Meritage. If anybody has what am I bringing some home, Mom? The Meritage or the Chardonnay? You won't like Chardonnay. You don't. But yeah, so I'm bringing home Meritage 2015 actually, I think. Anyways, I'm gonna pour myself Meritage. This is the 2016. I haven't had this yet either. Again, I've had pretty much every other Meritage we've created, but not this one yet. Am I still soundless? Okay. Because James says I have no sound. So, 2016 Meritage Reserve. I'm just taking a moment with that. I haven't had it yet either, so I'm just enjoying the smell. It's peppery. It's definitely aging. Like, it's definitely starting to show a bit of an earthiness for a Meritage. It's got a smokiness. I don't have the notes up, but so what is that? That's got 55% cab. So this is fairly cab dominant. Interesting. I like it. It's a bit different. It is showing its age more than I kind of expected based on what our 2017 Meritage is doing. The 2017 Meritage, it is still a long ways from truly showing age on the bottle. But this is showing a bit of age. That's not a bad thing. It's just different. So this week actually I did my first little wine class for my team, and Rolf, he showed up for the first half. So I was talking about Rieslings, and then I did actually do a bit of a class on Meritage. And so yeah, maybe I'll share some of that with you guys. I don't really remember what I said I said about Meritage when I first talked about it a couple weeks ago, but our Meritage itself is based on Bordeaux. And so what's interesting about Bordeaux though is there's vastly different styles even within the Bordeaux wine based on where you are. Our Meritage Reserve, this one, and even the 2017, I find their blend closely resembles a specific region called the Haute-Médoc, which is on the left bank. So Bordeaux is basically bisected by a big strait, I guess, and then kind of, I wish we had a map, but it kind of breaks as the strait comes in. It ends into rivers, I guess not strait, but bay or canal kind of thing. I'm using the wrong words, but anyway, so on either side are two very different wine growing regions, but there's both Bordeaux, and they both do fairly high quality wines. But you'll find on what we call the left bank, you get way more Cabernet Sauvignon, and on the right bank you find the Merlot becomes more dominant, and they use more Cabernet Franc, especially in a region called Saint-Emilion. So I find some of our Meritage Classic, definitely, with the higher levels of Merlot and Cab Franc in it, definitely does, harken back to old school classic and right bank Saint-Emilion Bordeaux. A little bit lighter in body, more chocolatey as it ages, a little bit more cinnamon. But this is a robust left bank. It's got lots of Cab Sauv in it. It's got a pepperiness. It's got black currant. not quite super tannic anymore, or if it ever was. It has a beautiful acidity to it, dark raspberry and a little bit of plum, and it's got that currentiness to it. And I'm trying to place something else for fruit. I'll get back to it. But it's but it's smoky. Oh, I like that. It's got a smoky, burny bite to it, and it's got a meatiness to it, and that's what a good, robust, cab dominant Meritage style, Bordeaux style blend is gonna taste like. It's got like a I guess not pepperoni, but like just like a cured red meat kind of earthiness to it. And that's where the aging comes in, right? Because it ages and it'll get more and more of that. The oak is more the sweet spice, the baking spice or woodiness, but as it gets an earthiness or a gaminess, a meatiness to it, that's as it's getting older in the bottle. You can know a wine isn't as good or isn't as well made, or I shouldn't say well made, but isn't meant to age as well if it's aging too far, if you can't taste the fruit at all anymore. If you can't taste the fruit, you can almost only taste like that gamey earthiness and there's nothing else, it's probably near the end of its life in the bottle. Not always, sometimes they intend that, but generally that's a good way to tell it's off. Usually if it's there though, it'll also have changed colors. So you'll notice like red wines get, I guess, more bronzy, brassy, tawny as they age, and they tend to lose their color and get almost like to a tanny orange. Not quite orange, but they get like, think old sherry or old port. Even old port, if you see it in a store, 40-year-old port looks exactly like all wine turns into when it's 40 years old. I mean, not 40, but some wines in Spain, in Rioja, can age up to 50, 60 years in the bottle and still be beautifully ruby red. So, but again, that is, wait, if a wine can last that long, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But that being said, if you ever have a chance to visit Spain, any of us ever have a chance to visit Spain again, I would suggest going to visit Spain and going to the Rioja. They have a lot of wines that are really, really different from even the stuff we do. Canada does a lot of French imitation and even some Italian imitation. We don't do a lot of Spanish. So while I like to talk about our wines, like I talk about a lot of different, styles that are done in Canada, Spain has always been something that I found like they're not as expensive as French wines, but the quality is still there, and you can get some really cool stuff, especially if you go to Spain, for real inexpensive. And if you like wines like our Meritage, the Riojas from Spain and the Ribera del Dueros are a similar style with different grapes, and they just show so well. So I think I should get paid by Spain tourism. But yeah. Can somebody go grab? Make sure you use. I'm sending my production assistant to go grab it, just in case. Use oven mitts, please, Janine. Okay. Okay. Oh, the real high. Hi, Bronwyn. Nice to hear from you. I really want to go to Spain now. Anybody want to fly me to Spain once all this COVID stuff is over? But yeah, so I'm just waiting on my finished dip. Hopefully it's finished. If not, guys, just imagine it with more cheese on top, or meltier cheese on top. It happens. I am still learning the convection oven in this building. It's not quite it's a little finicky for what I'm used to, but it does work faster, and it is a convection oven. Why not take us members to Spain? I'm sorry, Rhonda. You think I'm rolling in the dough here. Not really. Just put it on the cutting board. I'll deal with that later. Just put it right here, dear. Ooh. Okay. Awesome.
That's spicy.
And now, look, perfect little dippy chippy thingies. And then, let's see. Oh, maybe I do know what I'm doing. It's not quite as melty on top. And what I would do here is it's actually ready. You can see it is ready. But with the cheese there, I would have just broiled it. So the cheese hasn't quite melted on top, but the cream cheese inside, everything is great. So I'm gonna do a quick spin, not even with a spoon, but with my dippy. And what I do after doing this is I probably will add the rest of the cheese that I kept on top and put it back in with like uncovered, and it'll broil up and it'll look nice and melty, and it'll give just like a crispy cheese feeling. But this is how it's gonna taste real good right now. And look at that, like you don't need chips, your bread bowl makes your chips for you, and I love that. Oh wow. I think I might be a little bit speechless, mostly because I'm hungry. Okay, so how about a getaway to Spain? Apparently, I accidentally made people decide that they want us to send them to Spain, Rolf, for our next event or whatever. Organize a tour. You know what, guys? I'm gonna keep that in mind. Next time we're gonna go on vacation, if you guys pay for my vacation, I'll give you a tour of Spain. I'm joking. I'm not asking you to pay for me. That's shameless. But I'm gonna just finish this. Okay. I'm gonna put the cheese on top. Throw it in the oven. It's done. That will go so good with the Chardonnay. Like, the Americans is great, but this is made for the Chardonnay. This is fatty and salty and tangy, and the Chardonnay will just go perfectly with that. I'm super excited. I was kind of on a streak where things messed up when I was cooking here, so now it's turned out really good. The flavor's there. I do need to cook it a little bit longer, but that's what happens when you're trying to cook within the constraints of the time in a video. I just don't have enough people to eat food if I make a finished version and a cooking version, because then I have 2 bread bowls and I have so much spinach and so much food, and that's just a kind of a waste. It will probably end up not getting eaten. So I just did one. That being said, hey Rhonda, you know what? As I said, pay me to teach. That's something I'm thinking about. I would love to go to Europe and talk to people about the wines. But the problem with that is I don't know as much as the guys who own the vineyards. So I could give you a tour of Spain in English, and then they're gonna be making fun of me behind my back in Spanish. Well, behind your back, because I'll understand it. 12 years of high school and university Spanish. I can understand when Spanish people are making fun of me. The eight of that. Anyways, so that was kind of my impromptu recovery. Just give me a second. I still have been having issues seeing the Facebook today. It's my Facebook chat isn't going with the chat, which is interesting. Wait, Bronwyn, you know a guy? Who's the guy? You know a guy in Spain? Please tell. That being said, please tell, and I'll look at the comments. I am going to sign us off though. Thank you so much for joining me again for Happy Hour with Cooper. and I'm so excited to have seen you all again. That was our Meritage 2016 Reserve and our Chardonnay 2016 Reserve. So these guys will be on the shelves in the wine store for a little bit. I'm not going to say a specific time. We have no idea how fast they'll sell or when we'll pull them off, but get your 2016 reserves while they last. This will be probably the last time they're on a shelf before they become library wines and become very restricted. So that's that. Hopefully I'll see you guys all again soon in the tasting room, but until that time, like, share, and subscribe below, blah blah blah, as I stutter my way through the ending. And we'll see you guys next week. This is Happy Hour with Cooper. And now that I've made food, I'm happy.